So I've just parked up at a National Trust car park just to come and see if I can find any fishing spots. But I have just found right here behind the van one of the plants that I've been dying to meet for so long. I've seen it in the past, but I haven't really been around the coast to find more of it. And this is what I believe to be black mustard. Oh, that is strong. So I'm going to harvest some of this, and that can go into my evening dinner. It's actually a busier place than I realised, but it is kind of nice and little and quaint. But what I have just noticed as well, apart from the mustard, is that we have this. I've missed this too. This is wild fennel, and it's just growing here in abundance, and I just love to nibble on that as it is nice and fresh. It's such a delicious, amazing flavour. I met a couple of the locals here who actually live here, and it was just amazing. He just pointed out the rock samphire, and we ended up having a really nice chat and offering me a couple of locations for mussels and things like that. It's such a nice, peaceful location. I think if I am going to go fishing, it's going to be up along the top of that ridge over there. So I'm maybe going to scout it out today and see what's going on. And he said you may as well fish it anyway because the tide here doesn't come up that high, so I might take the rod over and see if I can get anything. I've just harvested some nettles and some of these common hogweed things and from the hedgerow. I've also got a bit of black mustard that I've gathered in a different bag, but I've been very, very, very cautious about harvesting from here because you've got your nettles right here, and then we have one of the most deadliest members of the carrot family growing absolutely everywhere. So this is hemlock water dropwort, and you have to be really careful with this plant because it looks a little bit like celery, but unfortunately it is one of the most deadliest members of this plant family, and this can kill you. Now this is in fact where the sardonic grin came from. In ancient Sardonia they used to feed old people and criminals with hemlock water dropwort, and it would make your muscles spasm out, and when they died they'd have a rictus made smile on their face. So quite gruesome. So you've got to be really careful especially when you're around waterways. That is where this plant tends to grow. And the other thing that's been growing up through here is all of this bindweed. So that's been going up around the nettles as well, so I've had to be really careful not to cut any of that into my dinner also. So it's but despite that, it is an amazingly diverse habitat, and there's just so much in here. You've got your great willow herb, which I found out the hard way that it stupefies you. And is that what I think it is? Is that what I think it is? We have sea buckthorn growing here also. Amazing. And then you also have some common sorrel just coming up into flower, and you've got your thistles and much more. It's just such a beautiful little area. So we're about to make my dinner for this evening. We're going to add all of this into the pan and fry this up until it gets really nice and crispy. This has been my staple, nettles and common hogweed, during a lot of the wild food diet. Whenever I've just needed something green, it's always been these particular plants. Now I have run out of wild garlic, so we'll be using the mustard as today's spice. So this is just a really simple stir fry. All you have to do is just fry it all down in a pan with a bit of venison tallow and just crisp it right up and nice with a little bit of salt. And it's just such a quick and simple and easy to make dish. So while I've not been having any luck fishing, I've just been eating this. Now my rations of tallow that I brought with me are limited. Whether they'll last me for the whole 2 or 3 weeks, we shall see. So I would really love to get lucky with some fishing at the same time. So I'm just going to make this so that I get some energy, and then we're going to have a little look. I'm going to have a little wander up and around and scout the fishing area. It's a bit of a walk by the looks of it, but it looks like an amazing walk and an amazing view. We're just adding our fennel to the mix. Some really, really, really nice stuff that I picked a moment ago. And then we're just going to add all of this mustard and cook that right down. It's going to be a very mustardy dish, I think, but I love that flavour, so I welcome it. Oh, I also actually forgot to add the sea beet. I'd better do that before it's overcooked. Here we are. This is my finished thing. It's just very simple, very simple. It's just nice and crisped up. And I mean, it's a little busy at the moment because everyone's coming into the car park or leaving the car park, so excuse the car noise, but yeah, no, I'm ready to have my dinner and then go for a little evening hike up the cliff. I don't mind the lack of wild garlic with this mix. You've got the fennel and the mustard are just so good. I mean, the nettles alone are excellent. Gorgeous. This is just breathtaking. I had to walk right to the end of this, at the mouth of this port, and just look at the view. Absolutely beautiful, and you have a castle just over there. But wow. I'm going to drop off the edge here and see if I can find a place to fish for the evening. This plant is one of my favourite things this time of year. It is something called great willow herb, and you'll find it alongside damp ground. And this is at the perfect stage. A little bit taller is ideal, but what you want to do is to get down as far as you can, and then take the stem, and you just and it's got an amazing pith inside it that is almost like sour cantaloupe. Now that's a really good source of carbohydrates during the Wild Biome project, and I'm so happy to be able to find some here. Here's the plant that I just harvested, and you can see that after you've split down to reveal the pith, look look at that amazing, I don't know if it's going to focus, but there's an amazing pith here that you can just bite straight into, eat and enjoy. Absolutely gorgeous. I love this. So this is my breakfast while I make my tea before I head on out and go and check out some more places. I walked down to this cove. This is an amazing, beautiful place. I was just having a little scout to see if there's any places worth fishing, but look at the way that water is coming in here. It's just so beautiful. And you've got this stream running down and just cascading down the side. It's just so pretty. But wow, so glad that I came down here. Once the tide is right out, I'm going to have a forage along here and see what I can find. But first, I'm kind of eyeing that point over there as a potential place to set up some fishing. So we're going to make our way over there, maybe over the top of the cliffs. We'll see. I just walked over across the top here and found this other cove, and then also I realised there was a drop down onto these rocks over here. So I'm going to walk down here somewhere and find a place to cast off. But wow, it's just so beautiful out here. Really, really, really beautiful. I'm all set up down here on these rocks. I have my one rod set up just here. That's got a bait on it, so we'll see if I can catch anything on bait. And I bought this new rod today so that I can do spinning at the same time. My beach caster was just too long, and after talking to a guy who runs an amazing shop, gosh, I forget the name of it, but it was in Wadebridge, and he's got an extensive knowledge about all of this stuff, and we're having a long discussion, and I decided it was better that I get this one, because at the same time I don't have to lug that massive beach caster around with me. I'll probably only need it for beaches, but around here it's all rocks. So I've got two rods going. I'm going to try and bait with this one, and I'm going to spin with this one. But wow, the wind's picking up a little bit, the waves are coming in quite rough. Despite that, it's really beautiful. Look at this. This is my perch for today. I'm going to stay here till the evening when the sun sets. But just wow, how amazing is this? Even if I am unsuccessful in catching anything, look at what we have here. So further down, or further over in that direction along that cove, we have some mussels. Now I'm not going to give the name of this cove because a resident kindly tipped me off where it was, but these mussels here, they're little tiny ones, but further around I'm sure we're going to find some larger ones. And if I don't get successful in catching any fish, we always have this as a backup. I didn't catch anything, unfortunately. I got my line tangled and I lost a couple of hooks. I didn't bring enough hooks to make new rigs, so I just did a bit of spinning. But instead I am down at these rocks, and if you have a look here, we have some really nice sized mussels. I'm going to take some of these back and boil them up. Yum. Wow, I'm so happy. Look what I have just caught. Another one of those 3 bearded rocklings. It seems like mackerel skins did the job, and as soon as the sun has gone down, beautiful sunset, I felt the line go, and we have my dinner. So finally, after a couple of days of trying to get it right, I have caught my first fish. I'm going to take this back to the van, wrap it in some foil and put it in my pan like I did yesterday, and just roast it gently. I think this is a slightly bigger one than the one yesterday. Wow, so there's a lot more meat on this. Amazing. So I'm so happy. I almost gave up because there was some youths up the top who were throwing rocks down here, and they kept nearly hitting me. So it's just such a shame that people, I don't know what makes people want to do stuff like that, throwing stuff off things. And like, I had to shout to let them know that I was actually down here. But no, I'm so happy with this. This is the first fish I've caught whilst I've been down on the Cornish coast, and yeah, so there we go. Finally, I have caught something, and the feeling that you get when you actually want to eat it is just so much better than just fishing for a hobby. I just know that my belly is going to be happy tonight, and I am so appreciative of this fish, and just wow. I'm going to go back and cook this up, but yeah, I'm going to try fishing for other things in the future. I'm going to try and catch a bass maybe, if I can find the right spots, and also I think it's a bit early for doing mackerel fishing, so we're going to give that a miss for the time being and focus mostly on things like this. The rocklings are round the rocks, and rocklings are actually related to cod and haddock, so that is why the flesh was so tasty and reminded me of that kind of meat. So yeah, I'm going to pack up, and bye for now. I will see you next time.